So a little bit about where it started. So we had a project where we were rethinking one of our apps. And so like just totally, how might we totally redo this thing? So at the time, I had just read the Sprint book about sprint weeks, or the sprint week, sorry. And I was like, oh, this is great. Let's do a sprint week. So I don't know if you've read Chicken App's book, but like it takes you day by day and it goes through almost hour by hour how to run a sprint week from an idea all the way to a prototype that you test. So particularly the developers on our team were very kind and had an open mind, even though they may not have wanted to do the sprint week, and it was awesome. So I won't go through the details of how you do that because you can read the book, but the point was it was a week. It was very inspiring. We talked to customers and we ended up talking about it all year long. So it came around to the next year and I thought, well, it had been a while since we had talked to customers, and part of the downside of the sprint week was we had come up with this great idea that was going to take us years to implement. So we had done our job, probably blown up this app, and there's just no way. We have a very small team. There's 8 of us. There's no way we can implement this. So that felt to some people very demotivating. So I didn't want to do that again. So I came up with this idea of what are the things that worked the best out of this week for our team. And that was introducing product principles in how do we listen to customers and users, how do we translate that into a solution, and just mindset through that whole process. So I built out this framework where I use Confluence for our wiki. So I have it in our wiki so I can rinse and repeat, which is good job past me. But we start off with just general, we watch these videos and some of them are hokey, but they're about empathy. They're about being inquisitive. They're about making users rock stars. So I play this little clip from an AI talk at a Mind the Product conference about we have made the everyday person a professional photographer through our phones and our phone cameras. Like, how can we think about making our users superstars by everything that we know and moving them forward? So we spend the morning just kind of getting our minds in that area and watching like Brene Brown talks on empathy, which can get like really feely and make people uncomfortable. But that's kind of the point, right? Like once you're uncomfortable, you think about things in a new way. So we do that. And then we move into the afternoon. So we get into this mindset about like, how can we ask questions and what things are we looking for and how do we stay in the problem space and not the solution space. So I define that and what that means. So we can all check each other. If someone's introducing a solution when they're talking about something, it's like, nope, roll it back. What's the problem space? What does that mean? So then in the afternoon, I built these worksheets that basically have different areas in which users might have problems. It's like set up in quadrants. And so we go to our customer solutions team and we all sit on phone calls and we listen for a couple hours and just take notes about what customers are calling in about and what problems they're surfacing and what challenges they have. Everybody takes notes. We come back, we pull out the stickies and write down the different areas that we observed and just categorize and group them and see are there themes that come up. We have a little bit of a unique position here in that we're not the primary feature that customers use, it's the web-based feature. So there often are a lot of problems that we can't solve, but then there are some that we can if we just look at them a different way. So we come up with themes. Then talk about the day, things that struck us, even if it has nothing to do with the exercises we did, it can spark some, project that we're working on right now, what if we changed the way we label things, or I don't know, different small things come out of that. On day 2, we come back, kind of review day 1, and then we go into, this year I focused on prospect interviews. So I wanted to talk about like, okay, so here's the today on day 1 and here's the future in day 2. So we had 3 different non-customers either have a video conference call or actually come into the office. These are entrepreneurs, so I had done the selection of figuring out who that might be just through my interviewing throughout the year. And we do basically a jobs to be done interview. I start the morning with a video with Clay Christensen talking about jobs to be done and why it's important and what he does. And then I will do this interview, and everyone has again, another worksheet to take notes. And we just chat about this user's day and challenges they have, and just kind of get an idea of what our users are like and the things that they're thinking about. Everybody takes notes. Then we have some sort of prototype to show them. So in this case, we have a app that we may or may not work on. I don't know, but I'll walk through the prototype and ask them questions and have them navigate, and so everyone can hear the challenges that they may have. Everybody takes their notes. After all of these different interviews, we do the sticky things again, and then we figure out the problems users are trying to solve. And again, look for themes. And so this year we just did 2 days. We did the past and we did the future. And then from that developed one validation of hypotheses that I have been talking about for a while, I've just talked in grooming or planning or different places, but everyone got to hear it. And then some of those developed into future epics, like, okay, this is a problem we want to solve. We think we can solve it in this way. Let's just kind of have it up on the possibility board. We have this thing that I've called the ship it board, and it's a whiteboard that's near us that there's the things that we're committing to ship by the end of the year. So a couple things have come up there because people are pretty passionate about it. But then at the end of 2 days, I'll document those on our wiki so the whole company can see them. I'll share that with my product team to tell them all the things that we've learned. But we refer back to it as a team, mobile team, going forward as we develop new features and new problems to solve. And the developers will use that as they're thinking about new ways to approach things. I think this is my norm every day. And my goal with this process is to bring my team into that, bring my team into the way that I'm thinking, bring my team into, because it's easy to fall back in to be in your coding world for a developer, for example, and just like, I'm implementing, and this is a way to solve it, so I'm just going to solve it this way, and forcing that stepping out of the regular rhythm. And I want my whole team to be thinking this way. I want my whole team to be thinking in problems and not solutions, because we've found such simple solutions by not saying, well, we're going to have to implement it in this language, in this way, with these steps, because that's just how this library that I found does it. Plus, developers can tend to make things a little complicated. So this forces some simplification. But it's really a simplified way to have them hopefully think the way that I do.